What's going on, guys? It is Corbin Stuckey at Pixel Talk here, and today I'm going to be reviewing all the Marvel Netflix shows that I haven't reviewed yet, leading up to Punisher this Friday. I'm very excited about that. I've already reviewed Daredevil Season 1 on my channel, so if you want to check that out, go check it out on my channel. Today we're going to be reviewing Jessica Jones, a really good series. Jessica Jones centers around this private detective who is also a superhero. She has superhuman strength, but this character also has a lot of personal issues. She's an alcoholic, she's dealing with PTSD because of a supervillain that she encountered in the past, and this said supervillain Kilgrave also comes back, and what's contrasts with Kilgrave and Jessica Jones is even though Jessica Jones has super strength, Kilgrave has mind control abilities. This show came out right after Daredevil, and even though I love Daredevil a little bit more, I appreciated this show a lot because this was actually one of the most ballsy attempts by Marvel that I've seen in a while. Jessica Jones is a very adult show. It showcases that a lot. Jessica Jones is an alcoholic, and she's also dealing with PTSD because she was at one point mind controlled by Kilgrave. This show deals with a lot of mature themes like mental abuse, rape, and it just goes full in depth as to what this supervillain Kilgrave did when he was mind controlling people. Another reason why I really appreciated this show was because this came out around a time where we wanted a Marvel property that focused on a female superhero. We really wanted a Black Widow movie at the time. We were just really wanting a female superhero product, and we just were really wanting something like that. And at the time I was just like, guys, are you not aware that Jessica Jones is on Netflix? And it's a television show. It's a full television show. How I would really describe the show is it's very neo-noir. It's very detective-oriented. It kind of reminded me of the movie Seven, and that's why I was so drawn to it, because it's not just about this female character who has superhuman abilities. It's her as a detective. She's trying to figure out where exactly this supervillain is. This supervillain is very hard to track because he has the ability to mind control people and, tell them not to tell his whereabouts. So it was a really interesting show and kind of like this cat and mouse game where we see Jessica Jones, because she was mind controlled in the past and she doesn't want to be mind controlled again. So, she's got to have like leverage. She has to figure out a way to interact with this guy, but also not fully hear him at the same time so he can not command her to do something that she doesn't want to do. Also, I gotta give props to David Tennant in this show. David Tennant is amazing. He's amazing because he's a character that you hate, but you also kind of love at the same time. He's very charismatic. He says some really quippy lines, and he's just a really good villain. This was right after Daredevil had a really good villain, Wilson Fisk. And then here we have another Netflix show, Jessica Jones, that also has a really good villain. Marvel doesn't really have a lot of good villains in their films. Like, Loki is the only real villain that we really appreciate from the Marvel films. But at the time, the Marvel Netflix shows were making really good villains. Wilson Fisk, Kilgrave. And I think it was because, you're dealing with a television show. You're dealing with a show that kind of gets to know these villains and you kind of understand why they are the way they are. There's a really interesting scene in the show where Kilgrave explains to Jessica Jones, I never raped you. You wanted to have sex with me. I mind controlled you to want to have sex with me. So even though you understand his way of thinking, it's still sick and demented, but you understand him as a villain. I really appreciated that about this show, was we got to know more in depth about this villain and his way of thinking. I also really enjoyed how they handled Jessica Jones' powers. It's all very off-screen, but it's very practical. An example of this is when, she's lifting a car from behind and the camera pans to her and she's just got the car lifted up. It doesn't show her lift the car. It just, showcases it off screen and then the camera pans to her. There's a lot of scenes like that in the show where it all happens off screen, but you can tell that, she's using her abilities. I think it was very creative how they did that, and you could tell that even though they had a budget, they really utilized that in a creative manner, and I really appreciated that about this show. Also, I gotta talk about Luke Cage in this show. Luke Cage is a really awesome character. He's a guy that owns a bar and he has unbreakable skin, and he's just a really cool dude. There's a scene in the show where someone tries to hit him and it doesn't affect him, and he looks down at the guy and he's like, did you just hit me? And he hits him back. He's such a cool dude. He owns a bar. It's pretty great. Overall, guys, I really enjoyed Jessica Jones. Did I like it as much as Daredevil? Not really. I love Daredevil, but Jessica Jones is still a really good Marvel Netflix property. Definitely go check it out, and especially if you've been wanting a Marvel female property to be made, this is a really good one. Jessica Jones isn't even just also a female character who has superpowers. This is a character who is very broken. She is an alcoholic, and she has PTSD from when she was controlled by this supervillain. And I commend Marvel for doing such a ballsy show. This was really good adult content, and I definitely recommend this for anybody who is looking for a really good Marvel property on Netflix. Netflix produces a lot of good Marvel shows. Check that out. Alright guys, that was my review to Jessica Jones. Look forward to my review to Daredevil Season 2. That's going to be coming up soon. I am Corbin Stuckey, and this is Pixel Talk.